Greetings folks, and I hope you're all fit and well wherever you are in collecting land. And welcome back to the channel for another episode of Grail or Fail. For the uninitiated, Grail or Fail is where we revisit a figure widely considered to be a classic and find out if it's still worthy of that Grail status today. So today on Grail or Fail is 3 for the price of 1 day as we revisit Project BM's take on Tetsuo, Kaneda and Kaneda's bike from the game-changing 1988 manga-based anime Akira. But before we dive in, I would like to send a Neo Tokyo size shout out to everyone who supported the channel. And please drop a like on this review as it helps other people find Go Figure. And if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button and bell notification icon so you're not missing any of the 1/6 scale news, views and reviews that we've got coming up on the channel. And trust me, there's a hell of a lot of it. So, released by Bandai and Medicom, hence the name BM Project, back in 2010, the bike is the revival issue, and the figures were sold separately, but we thought for this episode, we'd lump them all in together to have a look at them. So, without further ado, let's find out if 15 years have been kind to them, and if they're still deserving of that Grail status today. I think we will start with the 2 figures. Okay folks, so on the right it's Kaneda, on the left it's Tetsuo. Let's start with Kaneda first and find out if the years have been kind to these guys. We'll start at the bottom as we always do and work our way up. These boots, screen accurate, absolutely, well sculpted for their age. The colour is screen accurate, no split cut boot design here unfortunately. But as I said, we are looking at 15-year-old figures, so posability is not the best in the world, but as you can see there's some nicely sculpted increases, and these sort of turn-up sections are this grey colour, so screen accuracy is on point. The whole outfit itself was, I believe, meant to be leather in the movie, but what BM Project have gone for here is a pleather. Now, amazingly enough, this outfit is actually holding up, although it has become a little bit delicate over the years. What you've got is a 2-piece riding suit with the red pants and then the red jacket with a shirt underneath. Pants themselves are really, really well stitched. I'll try and swivel this guy around. I've got them freestanding, and there is a reason for that, but we'll get to that shortly when we look at the accessories briefly. So yeah, the stitch work is excellent on this material, and it has stood the test of time pretty well, I've got to say. There's no real flaking or ripping here. I do treat all my pleather figures with Aerospace 303 on a regular basis, and I've got to say this has held up pretty well. I did have a heart-stopping moment with this particular figure when I tried to swap the head out, and my thumbnail very nearly went straight through the jacket, so there is a little scuff on it, but apart from my clumsiness, no, time has been kind to it. But yeah, you've got those sewn in knee pads, which are really nicely done. As I said, the stitch work, very, very good for considering its pleather and considering its age. Once again, screen accurate, the proportions are right, are spot on here. Now, I think it's Present Toys did a version of Kaneda, but that was more based on the look from the manga rather than the anime. Now, this is based specifically on the film, and the look is absolutely nailed on, as far as I can tell. As I mentioned before, not much in the way of accessories going on with these figures. Kaneda himself comes with the enormous gun, which he uses towards the end of the film, and the battery pack that powers it, which is slung over his shoulder. He gets some swap out hands so he can sit on the bike if that's a look you're wanting to go for, and he comes with a swap out head, which I have currently misplaced at this point in time, but take my word for it, it's pretty much exactly the same as this but without the goggles. I tend to go for the goggled look. You also get a stand, and I'll bring this stand in, and you'll probably see when we look at this stand the reasons why I don't use this to display the figures. It's a simple bog standard clear plastic circular base with this waist grabber at the top of it rather. You get 3 different sizes depending on whereabouts you and how you want to pose the figure. but I don't use this for obvious reasons. With this figure having a pleather outfit, the minimum amount of stress I want to put on it. So yeah, wherever possible I have him freestanding. I have him in a detolf alongside the bike with Tetsuo freestanding, and he seems to be pretty stable on his pins, and he's never fallen over. So yeah, why risk using this stand and damaging the figure when that's an option? But yeah, that jacket is really nicely done. It's screen accurate once again. It's got those. It's got these sort of little clasps, if the camera's catching this, underneath the jacket there where it fastens. But it's meant to be obviously those metal clasps of the fastening section, but it can be a little bit exposed if you go for the open look that I've gone for here. Underneath the jacket, you've got a collarless red shirt, really nicely stitched, screen accurate again. I suppose this figure does start to show its age a little bit when you get up to that head sculpt, and you see that rather ugly seam line that goes around the neck. But once again, we've got to remember we're looking at a 15-year-old figure here. The head sculpt itself now, once again, we're looking at, it might look overly simplistic, but we've got to remember this is coming from an 80s manga, an 80s anime rather, and you didn't get an awful lot of facial detail there, but what they have got, and they have captured the likeness perfectly. They've got the eyes really, really well, and the features are there, and there's not. It's pretty featureless face when you're looking at an old, what is essentially a cartoon. But the hair is nicely done. The colours are right. You've got those super stylized strands in the hair that we've come to associate with anime and manga, and those goggles are really nicely done too. And overall, yeah, it's a cracking little figure that's stood up really, really well. Articulation. Now, articulation really isn't something I've ever pushed with this figure for fear of damaging that suit. So I tend to pretty much have him in this kind of pose. I don't even pose him on the bike, to be honest, because I think that would put way too much pressure on this jacket. Let's zip him round so we can take a look round the back, and hopefully he will stay stood up for this. Just zip him round so you can see the detailing around the back. That power pack for the rifle is really nicely done. If the camera can pick this up, there's even some button detailing on the top of it there with the canvas strap going over the shoulder. The back of the jacket has a tendency to do what you can see here, which is where it just it rides up, which covers up what's on the back there, and you've got that pink and white pill. Now these, I believe, are just stuck on to the pleather itself. So once again, I have to be super careful here. And yeah, because of the padding in the shoulders of this jacket, and specifically on these sort of brown rib sections, it does tend to pucker up, shall we say, and it looks a little bit off kilter on the back. That actually says good for health across the top there, which is screen accurate, and the bottom there, bad for education. The back of the pants really nicely stitched, and as you can see, I mentioned before, no flaking, no rubbing and no cracking. So overall, I think this is done really, really well. So yeah, that's Kaneda. Let's take a look at Tetsuo. Now, different approach here with this figure, completely different look. Now, Tetsuo, no pleather, no red jacket or red pants here. Very, very simple outfit, but we'll start at the bottom and work our way up again. We've got a non-split cut boot design boot here, pegged directly into the leg. It's got that grey colour to it. There's a little bit of weathering going on there, but not a vast amount. There's some sculpted in crease work there, and sculpted in straps around the side. Once again, these are screen accurate. Simple cotton pants going on here, but these are in keeping with the film. This guy's not quite as stable on the stand, so I won't be touching him that much, but there's sort of a cotton beige cargo pant going on here, and the fall's really nice. They're tucked into the boots. The stitch work is really good, and regular search channel will know me and my OCD about stitch work. Underneath that, you've got this sort of off-white t-shirt, and once again, it's just it's a very, very simple t-shirt. It might look a bit off because of the way it's hanging, but it's meant to be slightly baggy because that's the way the t-shirt was on the character in the movie. And probably the most groundbreaking part of this figure for its time was this exposed arm. Now, people who've seen the movie will know what's happening here. This is towards the end of the film when Tetsuo starts to lose control and starts to become the monster and is taken over by this sort of biomechanical aspect, and that's been reflected really, really well in this arm. The arm itself has got some swap out hands. You get those as accessories, so if you're wanting to upgrade the look in the display, you can do that. But the detailing on that arm is really, really nice. If I can get this camera to focus. The metallic section's got some lovely silver paint applications there. What was meant to be wires, they're not actually real wires. That's probably what we would see today if this figure was made today. But they're actually sculpted in and then painted to look like wires. So you've got reds and yellows and blues going on in there. And if I can just lift this cape up without him falling, and he's wanting to topple over, I shall hold him with this hand. You can see those bronze coloured paint applications, those silver paint applications, and yeah, a very good job considering its age. So let's take a look at the head sculpt now. Just spin him around here and hope he stays stood up, and he's just wobbling a little bit here. Is he going to go? No, I'm going to have to hang on to him at this point. But yeah, what we've got here is there are two head sculpts with this figure as well, actually, and if he will stay stationary for a second there, I'll just bring the other one in. You've got the angry head sculpt there, and you've also got a slightly more neutral one here. Swapping these head sculpts out isn't the easiest thing in the world. As I mentioned, it's the nature of this joint here and where it's positioned on the neck, and does create the same ugly seam line that you see with the Kaneda figure, but I'm okay with that. But once again, yeah, fantastic hair sculpt there, capturing that anime and manga aesthetic perfectly, and the head sculpt itself is super accurate and super on point. If a little featureless, but that's the way they are. So yeah, cracking second head sculpt here, yeah, the open mouth version is the one I tend to prefer. This is where he's losing it, as I say, towards the end of the film, and I think they've done a cracking job here, Project BM, I really do. The cape, well, it's not technically a cape, it's just a piece of material that Tetsuo picks up and throws over his shoulders towards the end of the film to use as a cape. Is really well done. As you can see there are big chunks missing out of it, there are burn marks in it, it's scorched and weathered around the bottom there, and it's just very, very well done indeed. Stitch work's really nice, and running up and down the sides, on both sides you've got a thin wire. It's not a super heavy wire, but it's enough to hold the weight of the actual material itself, so you can get it flowing off at an angle, you can pose with it, it gives it that dynamic look. Yeah, a very, very early version wired cape here from Project BM. So there you have it, folks. That is Tetsuo and Kaneda from Akira. So without further ado, let's bring out Popanika. So it's Kaneda's bike, aka Popanika, and I've got to say, every time I see this, even though I've had this for so long, it never fails to impress. It is a huge undertaking from BM Project here, and they've done an incredible job. This really does step the whole set up a gear, forgive the pun, it was totally intended. First thing that strikes me is the scale. This thing is a beast. The screen accuracy is on point, the proportions are absolutely incredible. The sheer heft of this thing, now I guesstimate you're looking at about maybe 50 to 60% of this entire bike is die cast, so the weight is phenomenal. But we'll have a quick look around it. Also, probably worth mentioning at this point as well, both the figures and the bike have been reviewed on the channel, so if you're wanting to look at them in more depth, check out the homepage, the reviews are there, and there'll also be links to both of those at the end of the channel to really do this bike justice. It does need a good 20-minute, half-an-hour video to itself, but yeah, we'll have a quick whiz around it. Now, I will say from the get-go here, we've gone stationary with the camera. Normally we'd go handheld at this point, but Mr. Go Figure needs both hands to manhandle this huge thing around. It does have a kickstand underneath, which we'll take a look at, and it also comes with this really pretty much useless circular black plastic thing that's supposed to fit underneath, but it doesn't. So if it goes haywire at any point during this section, bear with me. But yeah, let's get it side on so you can get a look at this paint job. absolutely superb. The decals on here are, well, they're not decals, which is a great thing, great to see. What BM Project have done is actually, and I don't know what technique they've used here, but it is it's great to see. It's actually printed onto the plastic sections themselves, so you're not going to get any deterioration in color, any peeling. Those are going to be there and like they are forever, which is great to see. But yeah, you've got metal sections here, metal sections underneath this canopy. The seat itself is done in a soft plastic. The tyres are full rubber. Now, these are in very, very good condition. If you do see any marks on here, that's simply because of me dragging it around the desk, which tends to put marks on rubber. Yeah, but they're really chunky. The tyres themselves light up around here, which we will take a quick look at, the light up features, as does the center console. Now, if I can shift this thing around without it falling over and get a view inside this center console, the detailing is next level stuff here, even for its age. What you've got is a center console here with buttons and switches. There's what looks like a GPS going on in there. There's another console here between the handlebars, which have got buttons on them. Both these consoles light up. As I say, we'll take a look at those light up features, and you're probably getting your first glimpse in there of the engineering underneath this, but we'll have a look at that as well. The whole thing is just beautifully put together, and a stunning piece of work here from the bods over at BM Project. Now, as I mentioned there, we're looking at an awful lot of die-cast, and the engineering itself on just putting this piece together is fantastic, because what they've done is, and I'll give you an example here, the fairing here. Now, most of this fairing around the back section here is plastic, but it lifts off. If I can get my fingers in here, these sections lift off and they're magnetized, so putting this thing together is an absolute doddle. Although there are lots of pieces to go at. So when you lift off this super high gloss section, what you're greeted with here is a die cast section underneath. This is all metal, super high gloss finish, absolutely beautiful, and the sculpting details in that metal are phenomenal. We'll just whiz it round the other side so you can see what it looks like from the other side, because it's not asymmetrical, the bike, as in the film. You've got the sort of the covered chain section which runs down to the rear wheel there, where the entire rear wheel is covered, but on this side it's open, which is once again screen accurate, and more of those decals going on. But yeah, let's take it back round to this side and we'll just have a quick look at the engineering that's gone into this. Now, as I mentioned, and it is a dust and fingerprint magnet, these sections of the canopy here actually come away, and these are magnetized as well. And this is where things start to get really interesting with this piece. I'm going to take the one off on the other side as well, and they both come away relatively easily. And then this whole section as well is magnetized, and this is where you start to see just the level of detail that they've gone into with this piece. All this sort of rack section here is metal, super high gloss, absolutely beautifully done, down to the pistons that go into the front tire here, and these sections actually lift off as well. These are magnetized, and if you're wanting to go for the naked look in your display, and I think it really is an option here, that needs a bit of a clean. That's just dirt. It's not been properly cleaned under there. But yeah, this is all metal and superbly done. All of these pieces come off, and you can go for a fully stripped down version of, and take this section off as well actually, fully stripped down version of the bike, and it gives it a completely different look. I don't know which I prefer, to be honest with you. I tend to display it with fully clothed. But I think both looks are absolutely amazing, and this really, as I say, gives you an idea of the level of engineering. I'm way ahead of their time here with this piece. The headlight itself is retractable, so if you're wanting to have it stowed away, you can do. It lights up, which we will look at, but I tend to have it out. I think normally I don't go, and as regulars to the channel will know, I don't go for light up features on 6 scale action figures or on vehicles particularly, but the Hot Toys Tron Legacy light cycle and this piece just beg to have those light up features turned on. But yeah, overall engineering here is superb. Now to activate the light up features, I'll just turn this thing over very, very gingerly. That's the kickstand at the bottom there, which retracts. So you've got a battery compartment there, 3 AAA batteries popped in, and what you've got at the back is a button which is, now I'm trying to remember where this button is pretty well hidden. Yeah, it's down at the bottom here actually, if I can get that into shot. There's a button there which slides. One way you get just lights, and that's to the right, and the other way you get the sound effects as well, as you can hear. Now the sound effects, this is where it gets really, really funny. The sound effects are actually activated by the pedals, and I'm just going to move all these pieces out of the way so you can see this. You actually hit the left pedal, the brake pedal, and you get the brake sound effect for that section in the film, which has become pretty much iconic, where Kaneda slides the bike down the highway. And if you press the other pedal on the other side, you get a variety of effects. There's the noise it makes when the wheels are spinning. There's a whole raft of stuff going on there, so you can muck about to your heart's content. And that's so that I'm going to shut up. Yeah, it goes on forever, and it really does bring out the inner child. Now, also, you can see here just how many light-up features there are with this particular piece. As mentioned before, center consoles all illuminated, top and bottom. These lights here, these LEDs that are flashing on the side, actually, and I'm going to try and put this back on. It won't work without the canopy, so I'll put the canopy back on so you can see this. Put the canopy section back on like that. Find the corresponding section for the, and I've got that the wrong way around. Let's just bring in the right piece, which magnetically clasps there. And so you've got working indicators as well. There are lights all over the place. You've got brake lights at the back here. You've got the headlight, obviously, at the front there. And the icing on the cake with the light-up features, it is these super bright green LEDs which are around both of the wheels, front and back on both sides. It's a feat of engineering, as I mentioned. Even this back section here, which has actually come a little bit loose while we were, I'll take that off actually so you can see this. You've even got a roll bar and 2 lights in the back here. Now these 2 LEDs obviously are the ones that when this is clipped on, this actually clips on here, which actually those 2 LEDs correspond to the brake lights, but this does come away, yeah, you can, there's even a metal roll bar going on here at the back of the seat which lifts forward. Yeah, this is, I am still to this day stunned every time I take a look at this piece. It is a thing of beauty, and it's also a miracle of engineering at the same time. I'm lost for words, and it's not often Mr. Go Figure is lost for words when looking at a piece. But yeah, there you have it, folks. That is BM Project's take on Popanika, Kaneda's bike. So I think what we should do is put this monster back together off camera, and bring out the figures and go in for a final verdict. Okay folks, so it's verdict time on BM Project's Kaneda, Tetsuo and Popanika. This is not going to be easy. This is going to be a tough one. Let's start with the bike. 100% Grail, absolutely nailed on, no doubt about it. It's Grail all day. An incredible piece of work here from BM Projects on this bike. The engineering, the paint applications, the screen accuracy, the proportions, just even the light up features. And yeah, you're actually hearing right. Mr. Go Figure is loving the light up features and the sound effects on this one. It is a straight up Grail. There's just no argument. It is a truly stupendous piece of work here. And I've got 3 or 4, maybe 5 bikes in the 1/6 bikes in the collection. I've got, I think the only things that come close to this, but they don't beat it, but they come close, are the Hot Toys Tron Legacy Light Cycle and the Yabakusanagi by Pure Arts. But this still beats them both. It is a truly stupendous piece of work and an amazing piece of engineering simultaneously. The figures, this is where it starts to get difficult here. The figures, I'm more inclined to go with Frail than Grail, and as regulars to the channel will know, it's a category I invented recently for something that is neither a Grail nor a Fail. I think for the time they were Grail, but I think they could be done a lot better. No one else has tackled them, as I mentioned before. Present Toys have had a go at the manga version of Akira, and I've never had that in hand, so I can't pass verdict on it. I think the figures are great. I think for their age, for 15-year-old figures, I think they're phenomenal. I think the pleather's held up really well. I think the proportions are right. I think the head sculpts are nailed on. I think the detailing, very good. However, I think they could be done better today. I really don't think this bike could be done better today. I don't. I think it's just all there and damn close to perfection. So a really difficult one. I think we've got two Frail figures but a Grail bike. So I think, oh, what do I do here? What do I do? I think we're going to have to go. We're going to go Grail simply because that bike is so good. The downsides to the figures, you can't really sit the Kaneda figure in the bike for any length of time because that jacket and pants will just fall to pieces. The open articulation on the arm that we didn't mention before on the Tetsuo figure, it's a bit ugly, and overall the figures, yeah, they're not aging well. But the bike looks like it's just rolled off the factory floor as far as I'm concerned. So we'll go with two Frail figures, Grail bike. Two Frails plus a Grail equals a Grail. That's a new rule I've just made up. There you go, folks. So yeah, that's the BM Project's take on Popanika, on Kaneda and Tetsuo. They are a Grail. So I hope you've enjoyed this little bit of fun and this trip down memory lane. Do you have these figures? Do you have the bike in your collection? What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on the movie? What are your thoughts on the figures? Thoughts on the bike? Thoughts on anything at all? Please drop a comment in the comment section below. Nothing is off menu. What have we got coming up on the channel? Well, there's more episodes of Grail or Fail, more episodes of Don't Make Me Choose, we've got more showcases, we've got more new 1/6 scale figure reviews, we've got stuff from Hot Toys, from Pure Arts, In Art, Susu Toys, Present Toys, Caustic Plastic, X06, the list goes on. So as I mentioned at the top there, be sure to hit that subscribe button and bell notification icon so you're not missing anything. And I suppose all that remains for me to say from the Grails that are Kaneda, Tetsuo and Popanika, a massive thank you for watching. Take care of yourselves, happy collecting, and it's over to the showcase.